I don't know about you, but I want to become disgustingly educated this year because cool girls, they're not doom scrolling, they're learning. And one of the things I started building into my life is something called a monthly curriculum. I heard about this on TikTok. Basically, what you're doing is you're building yourself a syllabus of things to learn and enrich your life and just to become a more interesting person. And they can range from any topics, from like learning pottery to learning Greek mythology, like whatever you want. And so today, we're going to talk about how to build your own personal curriculum. I did this series on TikTok and it went like mega viral, and so I'm so excited to like really break down the nitty-gritty of how to do this for you guys, because I don't know about you, but I am tired of doom scrolling. I'm tired of just like rotting my brain. I actually want to like learn something, because the whole goal of this is just to be easy. It's fun. It's just learning something new, especially in today's day and age. Being educated is so important. So I broke this episode down for you guys into 4 pillars of how to build a personal curriculum. So welcome to my podcast, Going From Within. Make sure you're subscribed. We have our mantra, of course, and let's get started. Before we begin of how to build your own personal curriculum, you guys know we have a mantra, an affirmation for the week, the episode. So today is, the more you read, the more things you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss. This is so important because learning and being curious just makes you a more well-rounded person. Like, you get to have new conversations with people that you didn't think you would have. You get to understand new topics that you might have not learned in school. So we're gonna have fun with this. This is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's not supposed to be like homework. It's just supposed to be little things that you can add into your life that aren't scrolling on your phone when you're bored. So let's start off with the first pillar, which is how to build your own personal curriculum, how to really structure this so that you get the most out of your month. So one of the questions I get asked on TikTok all the time is like, okay, I want to build a personal curriculum, but I don't know what to do it on. I don't know like how to pick a topic when I love everything. And so what we're going to do is, before we pick the topic and build the homework and the syllabus, let's start figuring out what you actually want to learn. What do you want to get curious about? And there's no rules for this. It could be learning a language. It could be learning about, again, like Greek mythology. It could be starting a new hobby, like how to paint. I want you to ask yourself, what am I curious about? If there was no pressure to be good at it, if I was not like gonna get a grade on my performance, like what is something that I'm genuinely curious about? Maybe it's knitting, maybe it's reading, maybe it's like reading the whole Harry Potter series, or maybe it's learning karate, maybe it's learning how to make that homemade matcha recipe. What would you like to do if you weren't measured by how good you are at it? I feel like a lot of us, me included, feel like a sense of performative behind everything that we do. Like, we have to be good at this, or like our performance is measured by how productive we are. And what I love about a personal curriculum is you don't have to give a fuck about how productive you are. This is just for you. You can build it however you want. And I was reading the book Eat, Pray, Love, and she was talking about like, why do so many of us feel like we have to be productive in order to do something? Why do we feel like we have to earn pleasure? Why do we feel like we have to earn starting a new hobby, and that hobby has to be measured by how successful we are? Like, let me tell you something. I started doing pottery. It's been officially 1 year of doing it. Oop, my camera moved. There's so much in pottery that I have to learn, and I still don't even really know how to go on the wheel. At first, when I started, I felt like I had to have the perfect piece and the perfect glazing and the perfect everything. And then I was realizing like, no, I actually enjoy like it being messy. Like, I don't care if it's as perfect. So first thing is to figure out what you actually are curious about if you weren't rated on its performance. And comment that down below. I'm curious to know your answer. But mine was pottery. What I like to do, sometimes I'll just have like a notes app on my phone of everything that I find curious, whether it's like learning about gut health, learning about neuroscience or neuroplasticity, whatever it is. Like, just have like a notes app. That way every month you kind of have like a hub of like things that you're curious about. So that was step 1. Step 2 is kind of figuring out a system and a hub to store all of your information, your syllabus, your homework, so that you don't like lose track of all your information. We're kind of building right now the structure and the foundation before we can actually create the curriculum. So one of my favorite things is Notion. I love it so much because you can have like links in it, YouTube videos, files, everything can be hubbed. I do have a personal curriculum Notion template if you guys are interested, where I have everything like set up for you. If you are interested, I can put that down below for you guys to download. So that was pillar 1 of building the foundation of your monthly curriculum. And now let's move on to pillar 2, which is the best part, the topics, the homework, the syllabus. Let's get into it. So one of the questions I always get asked on my TikTok videos is, how many topics do I pick because I get so overwhelmed? I literally just do like 1 or 3. That's it. Mainly it's actually like right now it's like 2. I'm trying to learn Italian, which conosco poco italiano. And then pottery And then I do want to start learning more Greek mythology because I think that's so fascinating. I think like if we do more than 3, A, we're going to feel overwhelmed, and B, I think we'll just like lose accountability. So now that you have your topics created, now it's time to create your syllabus. So figure out like what do you want to learn within that topic. For me, like pottery, I want to get better at glazes. So I'm like researching glaze combinations. I have a whole Pinterest board. I'm like looking at glazes to buy. So I put that all in my like Notion template of all my resources and links and everything like that for those glazes. But like for you, it could be like maybe like I want to learn how to paint the sunset, or I want to read like 5 chapters of Harry Potter every week, whatever it is. One of the things I did this was I read Eat, Pray, Love, and I watched the movie. I know there's controversy behind the author, and I probably will never read a book from her again. I don't support that. I did not know that before reading the book, so I just want to clarify that. But that is my favorite movie, and I wanted to read the book. But like, you see what I mean? Like, there is no rules. Like, it could be watching a movie, reading a book, making a Canva template. And I think the most important thing is when we're building our curriculum and the syllabus, creating realistic goals for yourself. Like, don't like say like something like, oh, I want to study Italian for 5 hours every week, because that's not practical for me. But like maybe study Italian for like an hour every week, 10 minutes every day. Like, so create like realistic goals for yourself is like the most important thing. And one of the things I also highly recommend is that if you are really busy and you don't have a lot of time for building a curriculum, break things down in seasons. For example, in the fall, study piano. In the winter, study poetry. In spring and summer, maybe study watercolor. Like, break things down by season. And I did a Substack article talk about how to hobby max, build a fulfilling life with hobbies even when you're busy. And one of the things I talked about was like seasonal hobbies. Like, just because I play piano in the fall doesn't mean I don't love it if I don't play it all year round. It's just like the fall is when I play piano. So does that make sense? So if you are really busy and you don't have time to pick a new topic every month, break it down into seasons. Before we dive into the third pillar, I'm going to take you guys into how I kind of structure my curriculum in Notion. Let's go do that. Okay, this is my personal curriculum Notion template. This is like the main hub of everything, and I swear by this because you can link everything in here, from videos to podcasts to YouTube videos and resources. Everything is in here. I used to actually like write everything down and I would just lose track of it. So I swear by this. Let me walk you through how it works and everything like that. Here's kind of like all my courses that I have of all time. We have like learning manifestation, Italian, financial literacy, hobbies, Greek mythology, and it has like a progress bar of like where I am in my course. I have my current curriculum here. Every graphic here you see is a template in Canva that you can customize to like your own photos. That one and this one. And then I have my navigation. So brainstorm topics. This takes you through like how to brainstorm and like where to store all of that stuff. Resource library and my monthly curriculum. This is what the page looks like. So it has, you know, your objective of your course, your assignments, and then a link again to link you back to all of the hubs. The resource library, you can link books and have reviews of all of the books and the genres of the books, YouTube videos and TED Talks. And then in the brainstorm topic section, I kind of walk you through like figuring out like what am I interested, what version of me am I outgrowing, you know, like, and like all these questions to help you even get a clearer idea of what to study and all that stuff. So I will link this all down below for you guys as usual. Okay, now that we have created our curriculum, we've created the syllabus and the homework and the structure and the foundation. One thing I love about personal curriculums is it is so beneficial for neuroplasticity. Learning new things and being curious has statistically been proven to increase dopamine in our brain. Those dopamine centers spike every time we learn something new, regardless if we're good at it or not. So like that's why every time like you were in school and you would learn something new, and even if you weren't good at it, you just felt like this high. You're like, yes, I did that, even though I wasn't good. I love personal curriculums because they're so good for memory retention. Apparently, there's a study done called the spacing effect, where when we learn information spread out through time, increases better long-term memory retention. That's why like when you're cramming for a test at school and an exam, you only remember that information for a short period of time and then you forget about it a couple weeks later. That's why I love personal curriculums, because there's no pressure, there's no school, there's no grade. So you're like spending time learning something and it's actually sticking to your brain. But that's how monthly curriculums can impact your neuroplasticity. But let's move in to the fourth pillar. Now that you have built your monthly curriculum, you know how beneficial it is for your brain. How can we implement that into our everyday life without feeling overwhelmed? One thing I heard a girl on TikTok talk about is how she has something called a monthly meeting with herself, where every month she'll take herself to a coffee shop, and within that date she learns something new. So maybe it's setting up a monthly date for yourself at a coffee shop, and like that's the time you work on your monthly curriculum. Or maybe it's every night before bed, 10 minutes you learn Italian, like figuring out ways to add it into your routine. That's kind of a synopsis of how to build a monthly curriculum. I hope you guys enjoy, and comment down below one thing that is on your curriculum this month. I'm so excited to see what you guys come up with.
You're a woman with a
follow me
brain
on TikTok, Instagram,
and
at
reasonable
Nicole Victoriia.
ability.
I'm on all the socials.
Stop whining
Substack,
and
Close
find
Society,
something to do.
because I do so many articles similar to this around just how to become a more well-rounded person. And I hope you guys enjoy. As always, I'll put the link down below for my Notion template. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.